If you feel behind financially, this is how you break the cycle, gently. The quiet panic no one talks about. If you feel behind financially, you probably don't talk about it much. You might joke about it, downplay it, or tell yourself it's not that bad. But late at night, when things get quiet, the worry shows up, not just about money, but about time. You wonder, how did I get here? Why does it feel like everyone else figured this out already? Did I mess up my future? If that sounds familiar, pause for a moment. This video isn't here to shame you. It's not here to pressure you into grinding harder. And it's definitely not here to tell you you're lazy or irresponsible. This is gentle, practical guidance for people who feel behind financially and want to break the cycle without burning themselves out or hating themselves in the process. Why feeling behind financially hits different. Feeling behind financially is different from feeling behind in other areas of life, because money touches everything. Your housing, your food, your health, your relationships, your sense of safety. When money feels unstable, your nervous system never fully rests. And yet we're told, just budget better, just work harder, just be more disciplined. But most people who feel behind financially aren't bad with money. They're overwhelmed. They're reacting, not planning, surviving, not building, putting out fires instead of designing a future. And when you're in survival mode, long-term thinking feels impossible. Why the cycle keeps repeating. Let's talk about the cycle, because naming it is the first step to breaking it. The cycle often looks like this. You feel behind financially. You feel anxious or ashamed. You avoid looking closely at your money. You make short-term decisions to relieve stress. The situation doesn't improve. The shame deepens, and the cycle repeats. This isn't a character flaw. It's a stress response. When your brain is under financial pressure, it prioritizes immediate relief over long-term strategy. That's biology, not failure. But here's the hard truth. Avoidance feels protective, but it's expensive. Costs clarity, costs momentum, and eventually it costs hope. The hidden emotions behind money struggles. Money struggles are rarely just about numbers. They carry emotions that don't show up on spreadsheets. Shame, fear, guilt, and comparison. When you feel behind financially, your bank balance can start to feel like a reflection of you. Not just what you have, but who you are, how responsible you are, how capable you are, how adult you feel. And that's a heavy weight to carry quietly. Many of us grow up absorbing messages like, if you were smarter, you'd earn more. If you worked harder, you wouldn't struggle. Money problems mean bad decisions. So when finances feel unstable, the mind doesn't just see a problem to solve. It sees a personal failure. That belief creates shame, and shame leads to avoidance. You put off checking your account. You delay opening bills. You tell yourself you'll deal with it later. Avoidance feels like relief in the moment, but it quietly hands control away. Comparison adds another layer. Seeing others hit financial milestones can make your own situation feel exposed. Even if no one actually knows the details, you start judging your timeline against someone else's highlights, forgetting different starting points, responsibilities, and setbacks. Another hidden emotion is fear, especially fear of making the wrong move. When you already feel behind, every decision feels high stakes. So instead of choosing imperfectly, you freeze. But progress rarely comes from perfect decisions. It comes from consistent ones. Finally, there's fatigue. Living in financial stress keeps your nervous system on alert. You're constantly calculating, planning, and worrying. That exhaustion often gets mislabeled as laziness, but it's not. The survival mode. Here's the most important reframe. Your financial situation is a circumstance, not a verdict. It reflects timing, access, and pressure, not your worth or potential. When you soften the shame, clarity becomes possible. And clarity is where real change begins. The moment the pattern can change. Here's the turning point. The moment this stops being about guilt. and starts being about power. You do not need to fix your entire financial life at once. That belief keeps people stuck. What you need first is stability, not optimization. Before investing, before side hustles, before long-term goals, stability comes from 3 gentle but firm steps. 1. Awareness without judgment. 2. Simplification. 3. 1 consistent direction. Let's walk through each. Step 1. Awareness without self-attack. This is the hardest step, not because it's complex, but because it's emotional. You need to look at your money honestly. Income, expenses, debt, subscriptions, patterns. Not to punish yourself, but to understand your reality. Think of it like turning on a light. The room doesn't get messy because you see it. You just finally know what you're working with. Say this to yourself. This is information, not a verdict. That mindset changes everything. Step 2. Simplify before you optimize. People often jump straight into complex systems, multiple budgets, advanced spreadsheets, aggressive savings goals. But complexity overwhelms an already stressed brain. Start simple. 1 account for spending, 1 for bills, 1 small, realistic savings target. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is consistency. A simple plan you actually follow beats a perfect plan you abandon. Step 3. 1 direction, not 10. When you feel behind financially, it's tempting to chase everything. Multiple income ideas, cryptocurrency, real estate, side hustles, overtime. But scattering your energy often delays progress. Pick 1 primary focus. Maybe that's stabilizing income, paying down 1 specific debt, building a $500 emergency buffer, learning 1 valuable skill. 1 direction builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum changes lives. Redefining what getting ahead really means. Here's something rarely said. Getting ahead financially isn't about catching up to others. It's about creating peace. Peace when you open your bank app. Peace when a bill arrives. Peace knowing you're moving forward even slowly. You are not behind because you started late. You're behind because no one taught you how to build financial stability gently. And now you're learning. That matters. Progress doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like checking your numbers weekly, saying no to 1 unnecessary expense, saving $25 consistently, choosing calm over chaos. That's not small. That's foundational. A quiet but powerful reframe. If you feel behind financially, please hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are not irresponsible. You are not doomed. You are responding to pressure. With the tools you had, now you're building better ones. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compare. You don't need to punish yourself into progress. Financial stability is built through clarity, patience, and self-respect. And every step you take, no matter how small, is a vote for a calmer future. You're not late. You're learning something. Most people never slow down enough to understand. And that's how the cycle breaks. You're still becoming.